Hello everyone, and welcome back to my chatty, sassy channel here on YouTube, where I talk about all things luxury, be it luxury fashion, luxury travel, or life's luxuries in general. And today I'm going to be talking about why I am never going to be buying Louis Vuitton ever again, and why it is that despite my respect for the heritage of the house, I don't really like Louis Vuitton, which is a bit of a controversial opinion to have in the luxury world apparently, but I've had several requests for me to talk about this topic, and so that's what we're gonna get into right now. But before I get into all of the negative things about Louis Vuitton, I have had a really good experience with a new company who have gifted me something that I wanna share with you guys, and that is by the company JMyLady. And what I have today is I have this Chanel dust bag turned into a tote. And what this brand does is that they take old dust bags, old garment bags, and they turn them into new products. They take some old canvas from Louis Vuitton, repurpose it into new products, and I really like that because I like things that are sustainable. I don't like dupes where people are making fakes, but I do really like to upcycle things. And like, I've had Louis Vuitton upcycled canvas watch bands before, but I really like the different bags that they do. And like, this bag was really neat to me, and so I want to show it to you guys. I do have a discount code for you, which is down in the description. And that is an affiliate link, so I will earn a little bit from that if you purchase anything, but it is definitely less than the discount that you will be getting. And I thought that this tote was so neat. So it's made from a Chanel garment bag. So you've got Chanel on the front, and then on the back, you actually have this little spot for a name. So I'm actually going to put my business card in here so that if for some reason I ever don't have my tote bag and I leave it somewhere, someone knows how to get in touch with me. But I thought that this was really well designed. So it's got these snaps that are here on the bottom and here on the top. So that allows you to sort of create this trapezoid shape and almost creates a little bit of a divider in the bag. And then the inside of the bag is lined with this nice fabric. It's got some slip pockets in here. And then it also on this side has a zipper pocket. And if you look at the slip pockets, it's actually from the interior of the Chanel dust bag. So it's even still got the little tag there, which I thought was such a cool touch. But I actually used this the other day when we went to do some photos and was able to put all the stuff that I need to take with me for the photos in this bag. It's got really good capacity. It's really well made. There are some super cute Hermes tote bags. There was a cute little sort of like, it's almost like a mini version of the Louis Vuitton cosmetic pouch. And I was looking to see if mine was there, but it's not. It was almost like a super mini version of that you could put like maybe a lip gloss and like some Advil tablets or something like that in to put in your bag that I thought was super cute. There are some really cute just little pouches on the website, and so make sure to go and check them out. But now let's get back to the rest of the video, which is talking about why I do not like Louis Vuitton and why I don't see myself adding any new Louis Vuitton pieces into my collection at any point in the future. Now, first and foremost, when it comes to any luxury brand, particularly a luxury brand that relies very heavily on its recognizable logo, you can feel a bit like a billboard. And I don't like feeling like a billboard. But there are some brands that I'm okay with carrying very recognizable pieces. Pieces like my Birkin, even when I wear my big YSL ball cap, because it is a brand that I really enjoy, that I respect, that I have good experiences with. Louis Vuitton is not that way. Not for me, at least. I have had so many bad experiences with Louis Vuitton. The monogram really bothers me. It's not something that I can enjoy carrying because it makes me a billboard. And it makes me a billboard for a brand that I've had bad experiences with. And those bad experiences are things like that when my trunk came in, despite the fact that I love my trunk, my trunk was new. It's not like it had been just sitting in the store with stickers all over the hardware to turn it. The hardware came super turned. I'm okay with it turning now and with it turning with age. What I wasn't okay with was having nasty tarnished hardware when I first got the piece and first unboxed it. But to deliver a piece that I paid like $5,000 for, and it to be already turned and kind of yucky looking and yucky feeling and dirty feeling, that to me is really unacceptable. There have been a lot of times where I have gone into Louis Vuitton in the past and looked at Python bags, and the Python scales are all lifting on the bags already. And it's like, this hasn't even left your store. And there are issues with these very expensive exotic skins. That shouldn't be happening this quickly. It's something that might happen over time, but it shouldn't be happening with the piece in the store that I can actually see it and that you can actually see it as the brand. You then have the issue that I had with my Louis Vuitton strap, where the strap glazing, and this is an issue that was known from the bags in this era where the glazing would melt. The strap for my Pallas BB melted the glazing melted off onto my shirt. The bag strap was adhered to my shirt. It ruined my shirt. It happened to be one of my favorite shirts. And it was just so frustrating to me. And I was like, well, you know, like this is an issue they know about. Surely Louis Vuitton will take care of it. I texted my SA, I had to pay an additional $350 to get a new strap, where the product was faulty and melted. It melted. And I really think that Louis Vuitton should have just replaced that. And the fact that that wasn't even offered really kind of frustrates me, because most of my other friends who are Louis Vuitton customers are like, oh yeah, like I've taken things in and they've replaced it. Like they would have absolutely replaced this for me. And I feel like that I just wasn't a customer with enough stats, despite the fact that I'd bought the trunk, that would get that kind of service. And I feel like that the service that they give you is very much based on how much you spend. The bad experience that so many of us had with the Murakami launch, where I miraculously managed to get a piece, not through Nashville, because Nashville wasn't helpful at all, but through luck online, I was able to get my Murakami cosmetic pouch. But there were several other pieces that I tried to get that just could not be gotten. You, as a regular person, couldn't pre-order any of these pieces, and it was just so difficult to get anything from this collection that it was just so disappointing. And then you get the piece and like I didn't even get all the packaging with it. And it wasn't just Murakami that I've had issues pre-ordering. There have been Christmas animations in the past, like the last collection that they did where they had Vivian in Paris. There were a couple of pieces that I tried to get from that collection that we were never able to get pre-ordered for me. And it's just so frustrating that even when you go to try and pre-order something, you can't even get that done. I've had multiple instances where I have gone into Louis Vuitton where I haven't been wearing a luxury designer bag, and I've been talked down to and looked down to because of the fact that I was carrying just a normal bag and I was dressed in just normal clothes and I wasn't dressed to the nines, and I don't like to be treated that way. And I get that you are trying to make a sale, but to not have decent politeness and courtesy really is an off-turning thing to me. And constantly being so difficult, constantly being met with roadblocks is just so frustrating. And then we have, of course, the whole Paris thing where that was kind of a mess and very hectic and a lot of hassle, and a lot of us had a lot of issues in Paris with Louis Vuitton. And so again, just for me, that was kind of par for the course experience with Louis Vuitton. I think everyone else, that was sort of their first time where they hadn't experienced Louis Vuitton being top-notch service. But for me, that's normal. That's my normal with Louis Vuitton, is not great service. But then you've got the customer service issues. You've got the quality issues, like I mentioned, with the hardware on my trunk and the strap melting. You've got those quality issues that are happening. You've then got the cost of bags like the Neverfull that have gone up so much and is at a huge amount of money. I think the Neverfull GM is over $2,000, and that's a lot. That's a lot for a tote bag that's a very simple canvas tote bag that I feel has been a bit devalued because of how much it's been copied. And I love my Neverfull GM. I'm never getting rid of my Neverfull GM, but I definitely probably wouldn't buy a new one from store just because of how ridiculously expensive that they've gotten. To me, the most ridiculously expensive of all their items is the mini pochette. It's a small canvas pouch that probably only costs them 20 bucks max to make, and even that's a super, super generous amount to say that it costs them to make, that they're charging $850 for. And they wonder why they have declining sales. It's because of ridiculous prices on items like these that used to be introductory pieces. An $850 small little tiny pouch is not an introductory piece anymore. A $2,500 with tax Neverfull isn't an introductory piece anymore. And Louis Vuitton, I think, has lost the plot, because to me, Louis Vuitton's not worth that. It's not worth that to me to pay that much for Louis Vuitton canvas when it's everywhere, when it's flooded on the resale market. It just doesn't make sense to me. And then when I look at some of the newer pieces, because I've talked about a lot of styles that have been around for a while, but a lot of the newer pieces and newer styles, they have weird functionality. Like, for instance, I think it's called the Express bag that I looked at in Paris, that had all the weird handles, but they were different lengths and they weren't all detachable, and it was just it was an absolute mess of a bag. And you've got so many re-releases and so many re-editions. But like, for instance, with the denim collection from a couple of years ago, where they did re-edition re-releases, and they weren't the same level of quality that the vintage pieces are. It just goes to show you the decline of quality, the increase in price, and the lack of creativity that this brand has, the lack of effort that they put into their pieces. Honestly makes me really disappointed and sad, because it was such a heritage brand, and it is such a heritage brand, and their heritage was in quality. And the fact that they lack that is just so incredibly, incredibly disappointing now. The final reason then that sort of sums all this up of why it is that you won't see me buying Louis Vuitton is because I just don't have a trust in the brand anymore, because they have broken that trust to me as a customer. I don't feel like they care about me as a customer. I don't feel like they care about their customers at all, really, as a brand. And I feel like that they are just really here to cash in on the money truck. And that leads me to not have a good taste in my mouth about the brand. And I don't want to spend this kind of money to have this level of recognizable product in a brand that I can't speak well of. And to me, that sums up why I'm not going to ever buy Louis Vuitton again. They have burned me too many times for me to really ever go back at this point and trust or want to buy from them again. And if there are any other brands that you'd like me to talk about in this way and talk about why I either like or don't like them, let me know in the comments down below. And make sure to check out JMyLady's website. The link is in the description, as well as the discount code. With that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!